Hi everyone, thank you for watching and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with the story time. Now, before I get into the story time though, I would like to take time to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for subscribing to my channel, for giving me the time of your day. Honestly, I know I say this a lot, but it really does mean a lot. Every time I find that I have a new subscriber, every time that I see that, someone else watched my video, it's just amazing. And every time somebody DMs me about, something like, you know what, I agree with you, you know what, I feel the same way. Or, for example, my previous video, how we talk about, how, I gained 100 pounds or whatever, and, how, I'm working on it and this and that, which, by the way, I lost 10 pounds already, so yay for me. This girl was telling me she was just starting on her journey and how she was, going, vegan or vegetarian, something like that. And then she's like, we got this, right? I'm like, absolutely, we got this together, So, get your wine, get your snacks. I already got my wine over here. I got, this fruit moscato, and then I got my hot nuts. Yeah, hot nuts, because today I feel like eating hot nuts. Anyways, so, today's story time is about the time that this guy from a smog shop, asked me, or actually told me that he can pass my smog check if I, pretty much had sex with him. So, did I take the offer or not? I don't know. Watch the story. So, if you guys want to keep watching the story, if you guys want to know what happened, what had happened, please keep watching. Okay, so this takes place about 2 years ago. I had mentioned in my previous video that I was going through a very dark time in my life. Now, it wasn't just the weight gain that I had going on and the emotional stress, but I was economically in one of my worst situations in my lifetime, okay? And so my registration was due, and so was my smog check. And in order to get my registration done, obviously I had to get the smog check. But I really don't know what was wrong with the car. But the engine light wouldn't go off. And in that moment, I had already spent about $700 to get the car fixed because I had, I don't know what the hell going on. And so, my mechanic was taking care of it. But he's like, you know what? I just can't see what's wrong with it. I don't know why the engine light just won't come off, It comes off after we reprogram the computer or whatever and take the battery out. But it comes right on, within half a day. And I was like, well, what can I do? He goes, I don't know if it might be a sensor. And for those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, I totally understand you. I learned this because I was in the situation. But I guess cars have sensors and computers that need to be programmed and reprogrammed and unprogrammed or whatever. And, taking the battery out will unprogram. I don't know. We'll restart or whatever. And so he told me it might be a sensor. That something's wrong with one of the sensors. And that might be the issue. But because I don't have the equipment here, we're not trained to give you a diagnosis of the car and see what's really wrong with it, I'm gonna refer you to another shop that I always send my clients to, and this guy knows what he's doing and he can get it down, So I was like, okay, sure, I still trust this man, because not only is he a good honest mechanic, he has proved that he's a good honest mechanic, but he's one of my best friend's husband. And so, my friend wouldn't do me dirty like that. She wouldn't, they wouldn't play like that. So he referred me to him, and he called him right in front of me. He's like, hey, I'm gonna send you, so-and-so with so-and-so car, and I'm gonna, this is going on, and I'm gonna give you a reference paper. So he gave me a paper. He gave me a sheet of paper, and in the paper I remember reading saying, well, the mechanic had explained to me, we'll name him Josh. Josh had explained to me that if, sometimes, when it unprograms itself or whatever, when they take the battery out, something about it unprogramming itself, and you have to kind of program it again. So, it loses, I don't know what data, and it could be one of the reasons why the engine light is on too. So, what I had to do is run the car, run it at 40 and then 60 and then a little higher for five consecutive minutes each, for about 15 minutes. It was these complicated specific directions that I had to do, but I was willing to do anything that pretty much didn't cost me any money, because I didn't have any more money to spend. As it is, I had to figure out how to come up with the money for the registration. and I hardly had the money to get the smog check done, right? And so he gave me specific directions. He goes, but first go to him, have him give you a diagnosis, and then we'll see, you know, we'll take it from there. Okay, so that day, remember, I went with my husband, because my husband and I were just trying to figure this out. So I went with my husband, we went to the guy. The guy was pretty cool. We'll name him, for the life of me, I can't remember the guy's name, even though he's the one who, like, did all that crap. But, like, we'll name him Luke. As it is, I really don't like to say the real names of people, but I really can't remember his name. But we'll name him Luke, because he looks like a Luke. Okay, so we went to the shop. He introduced himself. Hi, whatever, my name is Luke, you know, this and that. He took the reference, sheet, and he read it, and he's like, okay. So he goes, so pretty much what it's saying, what I would try to do is first run the car as he, told you, and then, we'll see if it passes, you know? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I was already trying to pay this guy. He goes, wait. He goes, I haven't done the smog check, you know? And I'm like, oh, aren't you going to do it? He goes, we can do it, but it won't pass. He was really honest, you know? So I respected him. I'm like, oh, okay. So right off the bat, I can tell the guy wasn't interested in just taking my money. You know, he wasn't even interested in the money. He was just like, I'm here. I want to do my, like, I'm trying to help you. I'm going to help you guys through. Let me do my job, blah, blah, you know? So he's like, go ahead and do that. And then come back to me tomorrow. That whole street they were in was like this, it was like a long ass street. You could pretty much drive the car and do what you know, the directions that I mentioned. But the problem was that there were so many lights and stops that it was impossible, because I believe I had to hold it at the same speed for 2 minutes straight, if I'm not mistaken. I have like the diagnosis somewhere, but for 2 minutes straight at the same speed. So it had to be like 2 minutes on 40, 2 minutes on 45, 2 minutes on 50, 2 minutes on 55, and then 2 minutes on 16 and 65. Something like that. Some shit like that, okay? Some weird ass shit like that. So there my husband and I go. We tried, but we couldn't, because like I said, lights, stops, traffic, we couldn't do it. So we're like, you know what? Let's just wait until like nighttime. And we'll do it on the freeway, you know, because we're not going to be able to get this through, and I need to get this by tomorrow. Because I'll have you know that I had an appointment to the DMV to get my license, because I had my permit, but I need to get my license. But in order for you to get your license, y'all car had to be 100%, right? Okay, so I'm like, I don't have time. Like, I don't freaking have time. My registration's already expired. My smog check is, I need to get this through, you know? So, I remember we slept until like 1 in the morning that day, because it was like 12 midnight and we were in the freeway, because we still couldn't do it around 10 o'clock because there was still a little bit of traffic. And so we have these people going at 60, 80, even 90, 100, and we're trying to go at 40 here, and we're getting like our asses, like we're getting honked at our asses. So I was like, you know what, let's just come back. So we came back like at midnight, 12 midnight, and we did it. We did it for an hour straight, you guys. We not only did it on the freeway, but we tried it on the street as well. And we were there for an hour. I remember we didn't sleep until like 1 in the morning, but we were on a mission. So I came back the next day, right? And my husband had to work that, well, he works in the mornings anyways, but you know, my husband was working in the morning, and I've always had this thing where I don't like to go to shops where there's like a lot of men by myself. I don't know why. I just always had that like weird feeling of being in a place like vulnerable like that. You know, I just wouldn't put myself in a position like that where I know, you know, like I just, you know, I'm just weird like that. Okay, I'm just weird like that, and I just like to be, I just prevent it at any cost. So I took my mom and my son. My son at the time was 4 years old. So I went in there. The guy didn't even know who the heck I was. He didn't recognize me. And not just that, but because like the day before when I went like freaking chimotrufia, like all chancluda and with my chongo and everything. I was probably wearing like my husband's 3XL like hoodie or whatever. Like I was, you know, and well, the next morning when I came in, I was like totally all done up in glam for work, because, you know, I was going to go to work after that, but I had to do my thing. And so right off the bat, as soon as I came in, he just like, he looked at me in a way. This is not how he had looked at me the day before. Right off the bat, as soon as I came in, he looked at me like in I don't know how to explain it, but his eyes were on me, okay? His eyes were freaking on me. Like, they were looking through my soul. Like, my soul, you guys. So, you know, I came in, I tried to act super cool, because, like, you know, I'm really good at keeping it cool. Even if I'm uncomfortable, I'm really cool at, like, just keeping my cool and be, like, you know, kind of, like, professional. And you know, even though he's the one who had to be professional, I was like, hi, yes, like, you know, blah blah blah, this is my situation. You told me to come back today. We did it for a whole hour yesterday. You know, I came in with my husband and you said this and you said that. He goes, okay. But all this time he just like, he just wouldn't take his eyes off me, right? And I said, yeah, so, you know, what's the next step? And he goes, okay, so I'm gonna run your car again. I'm gonna check it through the computer and, you know, we'll see where we're at. I'm like, okay. So he checks it, and my mom and my son were just like right there wandering around. These shops, you guys, it was like those places where like it's like a whole center, and there's like maybe like 4 or 5 different shops that look like garage compartments or whatever. That's how these shops were, right? So there was like 4 shops, but only his and the one at the end was open, and the other ones were closed, you know, because he told me he opened at 8 in the morning. So only his was open. And so, like, you know, I was there first thing in the morning. And so he was like, yeah, you know, he ran it through the computer or whatever. He's like, yeah, like, you know, I still, it's still not coming through, you know, the data is still not coming through. Like, you know, I really don't know what's wrong. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what's the next step? He goes, well, I'm gonna give you a diagnosis, so we can see what's wrong with it, and we'll see from there. But let me try something first. So he was putting on the computer. Remember, he was doing like some things in the computer, and while we were waiting, my 4-year-old starts getting impatient, and I mean, he was just being a little baby, you know, he was like a little baby. So my mom gets him, and she walks out of the shop, and he starts walking him, you know, so he can get distracted. And when she starts walking out, that's when he like starts saying these things, you know. And he starts telling me things like, you know, sometimes it's like these little things, like these little annoying things that won't get the smog check through. The car probably doesn't really have anything, but like, you know, sometimes if the data doesn't come up, it could take weeks. And to my understanding, you need it already. I'm like, yes, because, you know, my registration is due, my smog check is due, my insurance is due, my license is due, everything's due right now. You know, I gotta get everything through. He goes, why did you wait this long? I'm like, no, I didn't wait this long. It's just that, you know, as it is, I was getting my car fixed already. And, you know, I hardly have the money to get the car fixed, and then I still have to get this through. So it's not that I slacked or anything like that. Okay, firefire's gone. Okay, firefire's gone. Okay, so this guy's telling me that my shit might take longer, up to weeks. I didn't have weeks. I had my driving test within 2 weeks. I think it was like a week and a half. I needed my car to be 100%, and I really didn't want to bother anyone to loan me their car, so I can take the driving test. You know, I'm that person that. Oh, it takes a lot for me to like go bug someone and ask for help. Like, I'm just that person. I hate bothering people. I hate making people uncomfortable. And so he was like, yeah, he goes, it might take that long, because I can't see what's going on, you know. And I was like, what can I do? You know, like, whatever is it that is wrong with the car, I can't pay for it right now because I hardly have the money to you know, to do a smog check now, and then I have to wait until Friday, because I think it was like a Thursday when I went. So I'm like, I have to wait until tomorrow. That's if I can get the smog check through to go pay the registration. So like, I was in a hard situation, you guys. Like, I can't even explain to you. Like, you know, I was doing what I can, and I had to do what I had to do, you know. And you know, I mentioned to him, because he's like, yeah, he goes, I'm like, I don't want to be an easy target for a police, you know, to stop me. As it is, they already stopped me. And he goes, what did they say? He goes, what happened? I'm like, well, he let me go. He goes, he let you go? He goes, without license, insurance, and registration, he let you go? And I was like, well, yeah. I'm like, and that's another story, you guys. Don't judge me, okay? I know it's against the law. I know it's illegal. I know you shouldn't drive me like that. But you know what? Like I said, sometimes you end up in situations that you don't ask for and you don't mean to, but it's just, life just happens. And life, sometimes I just felt like life was so obsessed with me at that time, because I felt like I was her favorite to be picking on, because shit would just happen, you guys. You guys wouldn't imagine, like, you guys wouldn't believe me if I told you how much things happen. You guys would really think I'm making it up, because like that's how like unbelievable my situation was. So he tells me, He goes, so he didn't stop you, right? I'm like, no, like he didn't fine you. I'm like, no. He goes, not even a fine. I'm like, no, not even a fine, you know. And like I said, you guys, you know, I know it's illegal, and it wasn't for the cop to do that either. But God bless his heart, okay? I was, like I said, don't judge me, you know, don't be so hard on me. I was in a really bad moment, a really bad situation. You know, I had all these things, all responsibilities on top of me. I've been taking care of my mom since I was 18. And things had been really hard for me. And even though I have my husband, and at that time as well, it was just one thing over the other. We were like so deep in debt that it just seems like the more we made, the more we owed. So it was just like, I was just in that hard situation. Like, I wish I could go deeply in detail, but it's just like, it will make this video longer than it should, you know? So he told me, he was starting to question me with the weird, oh, like not even a fine. And I'm like, no. I'm like, luckily he didn't fine me. He told me that if he wanted to, he can just take me in with him. He just told me that, he goes, if I want to, I can just take you in with me right now. And I was like so scared, I broke down in tears or whatever. And honestly, in that moment, I was driving somewhere to get some merchandise of some stuff and to sell them and to get some income in. And I told that to the cop, and I guess the cop really saw that, you know, this girl's really having it hard. She has her mom and her baby in the car. She's really trying to make ends meet. And, you know, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. I think it was, you know, I believe in God, and I think it was all God right there, you know? So the guy's like, really? He goes, what you do? He goes, give him your number. No, he was just a good man. How would you think that a cop's gonna let me go just if I give him my number? Like, who the fuck says that, right? Like, I think if that was the case, I think it would take, he would ask more than just a fucking number. If that was the case, if it was what he's insinuating, what he's trying to tell me, what he's thinking, you know, I think it would take more than a fucking number, you know, to let you go like that. Like, no, this man was just really good. He was a really kind-hearted man who felt very fucking sorry for my ass, and he gave me a chance. He told me I was playing with fire, but he fucking gave me a chance. That's it. It's what it is, you know? And so he goes, well, you know, sometimes women gotta do what they gotta do, and it's okay. And I'm like, right, but that wasn't my case. I'm like, I don't judge. I was like, I don't judge, but luckily that wasn't my case. Like, he was a good man, you know? He was just a good man. And he goes, yeah, he goes, I get it. He goes, sometimes, you know, you're going through hard times, and you need the money, and well, sometimes just you gotta do what you gotta do. And I was like, just looking at him like, I'm trying to like just looking at him like, are you, like, just thinking like, are you serious right now? Like, you know, like, are you really, you know? So then he starts mentioning how, like, he was like with this woman who, like, I guess she was like a single mom or something, and she, you know, she needed help. And so, like, he pretty much told me that he was her sugar daddy, right? And I said, and I remember I was trying to brush it off, you guys, because, like, it was already uncomfortable and awkward as it is. And I was, like, trying to brush it off. So I was like, hey, I'm like, I don't judge. If a woman's gotta do what they gotta do, then, you know, so be it, you know. I had a friend who would do that. Like, I had a friend who would actually do the sugar daddy thing, and she would get, like, $1,000 in one fucking day. Like, I don't judge, okay? Like, it's not necessarily that I'm okay with it. It's just that I respect everyone. Like, I'm not perfect, and I'm not in the place to be judging you for what you do, for, you know, for whatever you have to do, you know? So I don't judge. And he goes, really? I'm like, yeah, like, she was making some big bucks right there. But like I said, every woman, you know, gotta do what they gotta do, whatever, you know? He goes, well, yeah, this woman pretty much, like, he said, like, he was with this chick, right? And, like, I guess every time, like, she needed something, like, she would text him, and he'd be like, okay, see you at this place at this time. And then he's like, then I would give her money for diapers or whatever she need, you know, I'll take a pack of diapers myself. So it's like, why do I need to know this? Like, I'm just here for my car diagnosis. I'm just here to see if I can get this through. You know, I'm trying to do things legit. You know, why do I need to know this stuff? You know. So I was like, oh, okay. Like I said, I don't judge. You know, she had to do what she got to do. You know, whatever. He goes, yeah. He goes, and you know, sometimes I have like, oh, he goes, but there's just one problem. I'm like, what is that? And he goes, well, she got obsessed with me. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm like, I guess she really liked you, you know? Like, I don't give a fuck, you know? Like, I guess she really liked you. And he goes, yeah. He goes, but there was just one problem. And I'm like, okay, what is that? And he goes, well, she started to lose too much weight, and I just didn't like her anymore because I have a type. And I was like, okay. Like, I know where he was going, you guys. Like, I was just acting stupid, you know. I know he was going. He goes, yeah. And, like, your curvy girl here, you know, has been curvy like this for, like, 2 years straight. Probably, like, 3 years, you know. So, he pretty much, like, straight up told me, he goes, I like curvy girls. And he goes, and my favorite ones are curvy Latinas, you know. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't know what to say, you know, because I was like, what do you say? What do you say, you know? Like, so many things crossed my mind, you know? So many things crossed my mind. Like, you know, well, if you're thinking that I'm over here, like, trying to give it up to you, like, you got me all the way fucked up, because that's not gonna happen, you know? Like, so many things are crossing my mind, you know? And he goes, yeah, so I had to kind of drop her, but, like, you know, here and there, she still texts me, and I just don't feel it anymore. It's like, you know, I don't care. Like, I'm just trying to get my shit through here, you know? I don't care, you know? But I was like, oh, well, you know, too bad for her, you know? And he's like, yeah. And then, like, I stood quiet because I really didn't want to talk about that anymore. I don't care about what you have to say. Like, I just want to get my goddamn smog check through, you know? So finally, he figures out what's wrong with my car and why the engine light is on. And it turns out to be this part in the front of the car. There's like $600 to change that. And there's just $600 for the part. And that's not including handwork, okay? I don't have $600. I hardly had to pay the goddamn smog check, and I had to wait until Friday to pay my registration if my smog check went through. So he tells me, he goes, yeah, he goes, it's like, I don't know what part of the car he said it was, and I was like, oh my god. He goes, yeah, he goes, I'm like, well, can you fix it here? He goes, I don't specialize in that, but I do have somebody, you know? And he, like, goes out of his way to call that somebody, that other shop. And, like, he's like, oh, yeah, how much? Oh, $600. He goes, oh, okay, and is that including handwork? Oh, it would be about $800 in total. Okay. So he went out of his way to make sure that I knew that it was going to be, like, something way out of my budget right now, something that I definitely couldn't afford right now. So I was like, I was feeling like this. Oh, you guys, if I could explain to you how I was feeling. I kept feeling like this sinking in my heart. Like, just, I don't know what. It was like fear with, like, nervous, like being nervous, being scared. Like, just everything, all of this happening as it is. I was in a really fucked up situation. And, like, you know. So he goes, yeah, he goes, but I'll tell you what. He goes, you have options. And I was like, okay, what are my options? You know, like, my stupid ass is still, like, not really catching on, you know, like, I kind of see where he was going, but I really didn't think of his full intentions. So he goes, well, he goes, you can go get it fixed in a couple of weeks. I'm thinking you can't do that now because, you know, you just told me you don't have the money. He goes, or you can also, he told me something about putting this one liquid where the gas goes, and then running it again, and then that just might work, because something about the filter being dirty, I don't know what. And he goes, for sure it's gonna be the part, but maybe we can get the sensor cleared out by doing that, but you still have to change the part. He goes, or I can just pass it for you. And when he said I can just pass it for you, I was like, what do you mean just pass it for me? He goes, yeah, he goes, you know, I can just pass it for you if you give me a date. A date? He goes, yeah, you know, a date. And he, like, held for like 2 seconds, and he was, with a night. If you think that you're gonna get all of this because I need a goddamn smog check and because my ass is vulnerable right now because I'm a broke ass right now and I fucking need money, you got me all the way fucked up right now. You got me all the way fucked up. You know? Because I can be in the most lowest position ever in the worst time of my life, and unless one of my family members is out there dying or it was a life-threatening thing, then maybe, just maybe, I will probably consider something like that. But you think I'm gonna do this because my fucking car is fucked up? You got me all the way fucked up. All the way fucked up. So in reality, I'm sitting there like super shook. I kind of felt it coming, kind of saw it coming. Now, keep in mind, you guys, I'm in a situation, I'm against the wall. He pretty much just has me against the wall. No way in the freaking world I will be able to fix it in that moment because it was 800 bucks that I couldn't just pull out of my ass like that. And the little liquid thing that he was talking about, I really doubted that. I really doubt that was gonna work because my mechanic would have told me that a long time ago if that was a case, you know. And about the whole sleeping with him, you know, that wasn't even an option to me. That was not an option to me. You know, and you know what bothered me the most, I guess you can say, is that if he really wanted that one night with me, like if he really wanted my ass that bad, like he didn't have to approach me that way. Like this man was like, as shitty and trashy as he is, he wasn't even bad looking, you guys. It was this tall white man in shape with gorgeous, beautiful blue eyes. Like, he didn't have the need, okay? He was just, what I'm trying to say is that he was just being shitty and trashy because he was just that type of asshole. Like, he was just that asshole. He was just trying to take advantage of me and my situation. He saw me at a very, very vulnerable. I can't even talk of how upset I am right now. Like, even like my heart's like pounding again. Like, he was just, his satisfaction is that, like, having that power of taking advantage of someone in such a vulnerable position, seeing me that I'm struggling, that I have a kid, that I don't have money, that I already got pulled over, that I owe my my car insurance, that I owe my registration, that I gotta pay now I gotta pay the repair of $800 plus I have to do the smog check. Like, he sees that like I'm all the way fucked up, you know, and so he's trying to take advantage of that because he gets satisfaction out of doing that. Like, it's not even like, you know, I just think you're so pretty that, you know, I had no choice. It's just more like, I'm not even gonna try to approach you the nice way. Like, you're in a fucked up situation, you pretty much, like, if you want this done, like, you pretty much have to give it up. So it's like, I think that's what bothered me the most, is like, you don't even have to approach me like that. Like, I lost all respect for him right there and then. I lost my respect for him, and everything crossed my mind. Like, I'm not scared, you guys. I'm not scared to throw a punch if I have to when someone's being so disrespectful like that, you know. Like, I try to keep my shit together, like, as much as I can, but there's limits, and he was just crossing the line. And so obviously I needed something from him, and I couldn't just go off on him. I couldn't physically hurt him like I would love to have. And I just kind of pretty much had to suck it up and just kind of like try to get myself out of the situation in the best manner possible, because I still needed something from him. And so I kind of like just went like, oh, well, why don't we try the you know, the whole liquid thing. I forgot what it was called. And you know, paying it up is not an option for me because I don't have the money, and I need this done within 2 weeks. I'm like, why don't I, and he was willing to do all of this without, putting it through the smog, you know, because I guess once you put it through the smog, computer thing, like, it's like, it dings it or something, and next time you go, it's like harder if you go to another shop or whatever. So I didn't want him to do that. He was willing to give me all the diagnosis and the paperwork without putting it through the computer like that. So he was willing to do that because he really thought that I was going to consider his offer. He really thought I was going to consider his offer because I kind of made it seem like that. I'm like, well, why don't I do this whole liquid thing that you're suggesting first? And I was trying to be as nice as I could, but I was like this all the time, you guys. Like, I was shaking. I just want to, like, I wanted to suck him so bad, you guys. Like, I want to beat the shit out of him. I still have his face, like, on my mind right now. Like, I could see his face, like his fucking face, just like with that joyful smile, with that I got you where I wanted you kind of like, oh my god, like, oh, it just angers me again. It angers me again. But yeah, he had me where he wanted, and I said, well, why don't I try that? You know, let me take the paperwork like you told me. And, you know, if that doesn't work, I'll come back with you and I'll see my options, you know, like, we'll go over my options again. And he goes, he just looks at me, he goes, sure. Like, he's like, sure, I'm gonna come back, you guys. He's sure I'm gonna come back and just, you know, he's sure. He's like 100%. He goes, sure. And he's still like, he still goes to his computer and starts printing out the paperwork. He goes, I'm patient. Like that. Like, he just literally, he looks at me, he goes, I'm patient. Oh, man. So it was like, okay. I'm like, well, thank you so much. You know, thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. You know, thank you for being so honest with me and, you know, trying to really help me out. Like, thank you so fucking much, you know. Thank you so much. You did me a huge fucking favor, you know. And so I'm shaking. He's like, okay. He goes, let me give you my phone number so you can text me and you can let me know what you decided. So I take his fucking phone number or whatever, okay? I take his phone number, I'm like, okay, sure, let me save you my contacts that are all, you know, I'll give you a call, text you, and I'll update you what happened, and I'll let you know when I'm coming back, you know, when I'm coming in. And he was like sure that the next time I was gonna come in, I was just gonna be like, you know. And he goes, yeah, and he started going everything again, and he goes, you know, this is the problem, blah, blah, blah. It is $800, like I mentioned. And I just, as soon as he said $800, I was like that, you know. He goes, and he looks at me again, like, he has the nerve to be like, well, you don't want to give it up. He tells me this, like, this is just like, it's totally normal thing. Like, this is a good option for you. This is good for you, you know. Just, you don't just give it up, and we'll, you know, everything will be fine, you know. This and that. I'm like, and I just like kind of like try to laugh it off, but I was like really angry, and I was like, ugh, you know, like I was angry, like, bitch, don't push anymore, because I swear to God, I am this close to just losing my shit, and forgetting that I'm a lady, and just fucking throwing it down right here. Because guys, when I'm not the type of person who gets physical, okay? I've never gotten physical with anyone, only professionally when I used to box, you know, when I used to box when I was a teenager. That's the only time I've ever experienced hitting someone, but it was, like I said, professionally with the ref controlling everything. I've never gotten physical with anyone, and I've never in my life ever wanted to beat someone up so bad, you guys, and just like suck that smile right out of his face. Like, I just never been so urged to hurt someone and see, you know, yeah. So I get out of the shop, right? I get out of the shop, and I just don't know what to think. I don't know what to say, and I break down. You know, I break down, and my mom sees me, and she's like, what's going on? And I just told her, oh, nothing. It's just so much going on right now. Like, I don't think I could take it. You know, like, I just broke down because, like, I felt so vulnerable, and I hate feeling weak. I hate feeling vulnerable. I hate feeling weak. So after I start driving, I calm down, and I look at my baby through the windshield mirror, whatever you call it, and I look at him and I see his little face, and that helps me calm down. I'm driving, and I'm just calming down, and then I just spit it out. Like, I start telling my mom, and I'm like, she goes, are you fucking kidding me? She goes, this is what he was just like so smiley and flirty with you because he was offering you that? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he pretty much just told me that this is what he does, and other girls have, because he did tell me that other girls have come, and they pretty much just do that and get their shit done. Like I said, I don't judge you guys. If any of you guys watching this video has ever done anything like that or similar to it, I don't judge. You had to do what you had to do. I'm pretty sure you weren't approached the way I was approached, though. So I feel like what really bothered me is the fact that he didn't have to approach me that way if he, you know, was one of those guys who just wanted a one-night thing. Like, I think I still wouldn't have happened, you guys, but at least I would have respected him for approaching me the right way. And just be like, you know, I think you're really cute. You know, can I have your number or something? Or is there any chance that we can go get some coffee or some shit like that? I don't know, you guys. Something like that. And so, you know, as soon as I get out of there and I get home, I start to calm down. And I text my friend right away. I'm like, tell your husband to not send any woman to that shop again because this guy tries to take advantage of them. And she freaks out, you guys. She freaks out and she's like, tell me what happened, you know, this and that. I'm gonna tell my husband to go tell him shit. So I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't want this to be bigger. Just tell him not to send any more women. Like, you know, just don't send women alone, or don't send women that he sees that really, you know, just don't send anyone because this guy will really try to take advantage. And so she told me a story about someone who's like a close relative or something like that to her that went over and got her stuff done, and you know, he offered her the same thing, but like she's cool with it, so she kind of went with it, and I guess she kind of got, you know, whatever she needed or whatever. But he's like, but she wasn't bothered by it, so you know, she didn't tell us anything, you know, like she kind of just told us jokingly, but she wasn't bothered. I'm like, I was just extremely offended. I'm like, I was offended because like I'm just a girl trying to do things right and trying to pull out of a very dark deep hole, and this fool really tries to like fuck me over, like, you know, fuck things up more than this. Because had I done that, for those of you guys that had been asking, the answer was no. I did not mess with them. I wasn't gonna do that to myself. I wasn't gonna put myself through that. Like I said, I don't judge, okay? You women out there, like, you do what you gotta do to do whatever you have to do. I don't judge. I'm not in the place. I'm not a perfect woman. I've done things that I'm not proud of, and I'm not the one to judge you. Like, I'm not God, and I'm not here, you know, I'm not here to like make you guys feel any less or anything. But, you know, the answer is no. I didn't. No, absolutely not. I didn't even consider it. There was a moment where I'm like, wow, like, I was overthinking it, like, you know, all this is happening. I have to do this and that, $800 plus the $200 of the smog plus this and that, and it could just that $1,000 that I'm gonna have to pay, or yeah, I'm like, it's pretty much just, it could just all be gone like in one night, you know, like it could have just, my problems could just disappear in one night. But I was like, no, like, no, I'd rather fucking get pulled over and be arrested and be like, why didn't you? Because it was either me sleeping with a man or having my car fixed. That's why I didn't do it. You know, I'm just very prideful like that. I'm very full of myself, I guess you can say. I think so highly of myself. Like, if I'm gonna mess around with someone or anything like that, it wouldn't be in a position like that. Like, it wouldn't be that way. Like, I'm so prideful that even though I know I'm in a fucked up situation, I'll still be like, I'll still be like, no, like, I don't care. Like, you're not gonna mess me over more than I already am. You're not gonna mess things up more than they already are messed up for me. So, the ironic thing, and kind of what like angered me, like I guess I got a little bit of anger with me, is that I later find out that this guy actually does did cricket smog checks. For those of you guys that don't know what that is that, like he said, he could just pretty much pass it. It's illegal. He could just illegally pass it, but he charges you a fee. Usually they charge, like, usually a smog check is like $150, right? So they would usually charge like about $200 or some shit like that, like something like that. My friend told me, he said he does, my husband just told me that he actually does smog checks for $400 or something like that, or $200. I'm sorry, $400 was another person that mentioned it to me. $200, and I'm like, why didn't he tell me that? Why didn't he tell me? Or you can pay me $200 and I'll still pass it for you. I still probably wouldn't have done it, for the fact that, like I said, I want to do things right. But at least I would have respected him. You know, at least I would have respected him if he would have offered me that, give me that option instead of just sleeping with him. Like, why didn't he just offer me that? Why would it? Because he wasn't, you could tell right off the bat, he wasn't even interested in the money. He just wanted to get what he wanted to get, you know? He's just like that person. And I'm like, why didn't he just tell me that? And she's like, I don't know, girl, but, you know, he's, and then she goes, and you're gonna be more mad about what I'm gonna tell you. I'm like, what? She goes, well, it turns out that he got promoted. He got offered a better job, and you won't believe what he does now. I'm like, what? And he goes, well, he's like one of those, like, I guess, like, there's a specific, I don't know what they're called, but what they pretty much do is they go after the people who do cricket smog checks, like illegal smog checks. So this dude, for I don't know how many fucking years, he had been trading sexual favors for smog checks, or charging people fees for illegal smog checks for I don't know how many years. And now he got promoted to where he's the one who's after those little shops who do that. And I'm just like, oh my god. I'm like, at least I'll never have to run into his ass again. I'll never have anything to do with him. At least I'll never see him again. Like, whatever. Everyone gets theirs. I just grabbed my chair and sat down and just watched. Cause sometimes, like, you know, I don't know why, but one way or another, every time somebody messes me over, I always get to see how karma gets them back. I don't know why, guys, but I just always get to see how karma gets them back. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't understand that either. But I don't know if it's lucky or I don't know why. But I always get to see when somebody pays their dues. And so it's not a satisfying thing to see. It's kind of sad because it's like you did it to yourself, you know. But I later find out that now he works for a company who goes after those little shops who do illegal smog checks. And wow, like, life is funny, you know. So anyways, that was my story of the time that I got offered to sleep with someone to get my smog check passed and my problem solved. If you guys enjoyed this story time, please let me know in the comments below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this story. I really try to make it as short as I could, but it's just you know, there was so much background to it that I kind of had to, like, you know, get out of the way so you guys can understand the story and my situation. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the story. My next video coming up will be a tutorial. It will be a sweet makeup look for Valentine's Day. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Like I mentioned, I really appreciate your support. Please like and subscribe. Please tell your friends about my channel if you don't mind, if you really like it, if you think your girls, you know, it's cool, you know what I'm saying. We'll still have some wine together and some hot nuts or whatever it is that you like to snack on or munch on or whatever. But yeah, anyways, please give me a thumbs up and let me know your comments below, in the comments below, if you ever went through something similar, or I don't know, someone pissed you off this much where you pretty much wanted to beat them up. You guys have yourselves a good rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, you guys.